everyone. Welcome to another episode of Drop Frames. Co, what episode are we on? We're on the Co's Muted. Oh, we haven't done this goof in a while. Where Co's muted. Yeah, we can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Did it choose the wrong microphone? Were you talking to him before, Zeke?
I said what? I was like, "What's up, Co?" And I didn't get an answer, so I was like, "Oh, he might not be there."
What about now?
Yes. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't open RTX voice. Again.
Gotcha.
I had to restart. 269.
269. Nice. You gotta say it twice.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the joke.
So nice, you got to say it twice.
Exactly. Let's do news in the second half of the show. Let's switch it up. Also, some housekeeping stuff. I think I told you guys this. I don't know if you guys read it. Next week, Mr. Mike Shinoda will be back on the show. He's launching another Drop Frames album. I think part 3, episode 3, something like that. I'm really doing a great job promoting it. That's for sure. He'll do all of that for us next week. But he'll be in the last hour of next week's show. So that'll be fun. Always great to have him back.
Here, you used to work at a coffee shop, Lincoln Perk. Is that right?
Yeah. He was a lot of fun to have on the first half. So I'm glad we get to talk to him some more next week. So look forward to that. And then, yeah, I think that's it in terms of housekeeping. I don't know if there's anything else. Do you guys have anything? Any big news you want to drop on us? Does anyone have any monumental? I don't know where I'm going with this.
I thought news was in the second half.
News is in the second half. You're right.
Ready to talk about games.
Yeah, let's talk games. Zeke, let's actually just jump straight to you because the world is dying to know about your anime waifu. This game's actually, like, we joke about it. This game's actually probably one of the biggest games right now in the world of games. They've already recouped all of their like creating costs, basically 100 million or something in the first 2 weeks is what they've earned. It's doing well. I don't know where they're at.
Doing very well.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at player base wise. I think the last update I saw was 17 million, but yeah, people seem to love it. I saw that you at least played 2, maybe 3 days of it, so you're not into
still
it.
Playing it, right?
Yeah, like are you still actively? Okay, all right. Well, let's talk about Genshin Impact. I'll pull up the VODs.
Sure.
You can start and introduce the game to us.
Okay. So real quick, I've heard just random reports from chat. I never actually like went and looked it up and stuff, but is 100 million like a confirmed number? Like,
yes, that was confirmed.
What they spent and what they recouped, and
well, it was one of those rumors.
They confirmed 100 million accounts had been created, correct?
No, that was 17 million accounts were created.
17 million.
But they earned 100 million.
The thing that makes sense. The thing about the account creation thing, though, as some people pointed out last time, and I didn't catch until after the show, is that a lot of people make tons of accounts to get the free roll thing. And they get like the thing they want. So apparently the 17 million account thing, if you factor into how many people are doing that, is probably a bit inflated.
Sure. It's also free to
Just
play.
A little
so
thing. Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything.
That's true. Exactly. It's free to play too. Exactly.
I'm wondering how that works. Like, does that mean they because you can't like switch, you can't give things you've earned on one account to another account, I don't think.
No, I think the premise is you get the quickest free stuff and you go for a good roll, and then if you don't get what you want, you just make a new account.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. So it's basically like you went up like at your 10-year high school reunion and you like grabbed all of the free drink tickets because you only get 2 apiece. You were the guy that's like hoarding them, taking them all so you can get, the most free shit you possibly can.
That's one way to talk about
it.
It's
an analogy that took a while to get to. Forgive me. I woke up late because I had.
I'm not quite following you, but I'm going to go with
sure. Last night we're not cooperating, and so I woke up at like 4 a.m. It was a whole thing. Anyway, Genshin Impact. Shall we start again?
Let's talk
Genshin
about
Impact. Okay. I've never played a game with a gacha system. And by gacha, it's, for anyone who doesn't know, GACHA. I'm not exactly sure where the word itself comes from,
Gotcha.
but well, that's what I was thinking. Like, it sounds like it came from like I got you money, like that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but I don't think it is. Gachapon.
It is a
There we
little
go.
confusing
Gachapon.
because gotcha is in English and people say it comes from Japan. So it's like, is that
Exactly.
the thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, gachapon. Now, gachapon are those little
Gachapon.
bubble things, right? You put a
yes.
quarter in,
They're
or
the
you put like
capsule
a
toy
yen
vending
in.
machine stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So, I have
Capsule
never
toys.
played a game of that nature before, and I was apprehensive. I went into it with my eyes open, like knowing like what I might be in for. Considering that I love to gamble. I'm a big fan. I like the feeling it gives me. Yada yada yada. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. So I started playing the game, and it's really good. Like the game itself is the gameplay of it, the art, the music, everything in it is top notch. And knowing how much they spent on the game, I kind of understand like how that can happen. I was expecting like a functional yet kind of dull mobile game, like with some fan service shit and that kind of stuff. But it actually is a real game.
Right.
I did not know that. I was not expecting that. I thought it was all like the entirety of the game was going to be like the gambling aspect of it, and it's not. I played it for like a stream, and at the end of the stream, I said I'm going to save all that stuff. I'm going to get in the game and play it a little bit. I'm going to save all of that, the rolling, the wish stuff. I'm going to save it for the last part of the stream. When I got to that point, when you start up the game, they give you so much like,
Free rolls.
bonus stuff to do. Yeah, exactly. Free rolls. And I did them. I did it a few times. And I will say, like, early game, for the little amount that I played, like, I didn't feel like I needed to, or if I didn't feel the want to put money in yet, because I was still learning after six plus hours. I was still learning like the ins and outs of the gameplay, of the synergies, and all this kind of stuff. And JP, you'll understand the more difficult combats that I got into, which there weren't many like right off the bat, but there was one challenge that I got into on the second day of playing where it was like a little bit over leveled for me, but also it was like a Final Fantasy 14 rotation.
Oh, really?
The combat in it. Now you play there's 4 characters you can have on your squad, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot like I remember memorizing things for when I was playing. Is it Black Mage in Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
Memorizing like 1-1-2, 1-3, 1-1-4, 1-5, like that kind of stuff. That, like the rotation of your thing. With all the 4 characters, if you get into a difficult battle, it felt a little bit like that, where it was like drop the electric bird, come in with the other, drop the fire, come back in, swipe, drop out, come back in with this. And it was like that. And it gave me like that MMO, like shit, I'm getting the synergies
Rhythm.
down. Yeah, exactly. And it's really cool, man.
I did not. I watched Strip and Play. I think he never got to that, or maybe he was bad. I don't know. He didn't understand the system.
Here's the thing.
You're the first person that's ever told me that. Most people just say, "Oh yeah, I spent money on that one." Then we talk. That's it for the game.
I think that I was actually in Zeke's stream when he was working on the challenge that he's talking about now, where it was like these guys with shields, and he was having to break through the shields. And I have to say, I was in there for probably 20 minutes, and it was really, really cool watching him like start, no offense, Zeke, like getting nowhere near it. And then like as the minutes would go by, as every attempt would go, he would be like, okay, I'm gonna do this time. Then he get closer. And then it got to the point where he was like 1 to 2 seconds away multiple times. This is the one right here. And it was really cool seeing like how much of a difference the progression made as Zeke was just learning the mechanics, like, and the progress that was made just in the short amount of time that I watched once he got it down. was really cool. It definitely looks to be a pretty deep system in that regard. No question.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. No, this okay. See, that guy has an ice shield. One of them has a water shield, and one of them has a fire shield. So you start with the fire shield guy. So you get your water element character out, right? And you do your water stuff, but you can't just do that. You have to bring in somebody else to synergize with your water against the fire. You know, there's all kinds of different like paths to play the game.
Now,
or to optimize how much damage you output and that kind of stuff.
is this optional,
there's
or is this like main? Like, what? I guess maybe my question is a bigger overarching question. So continue on, and then I'll ask it.
Okay. There's also like there's mechanics of people like jumping in and jumping out. Like when you switch from Barbara, the next person in gets a blank percentage attack increase. There's a lot of that shit too. There's lots of little optimizations that you can make in the game that make it very intricate when it comes to a difficult combat. Now, I will say this battle was the only battle that I felt anywhere near like I was going to like I failed it because it was a challenge, timed challenge, and I failed it, quite a few times. The rest of like the map, it didn't feel like that at all. Like I didn't feel like in danger of like, a character dropping or anything like that. So you felt free to experiment and that kind of stuff. This is not like, as far as the little amount that I played, the 20 something hours that I played, this is not the heart of the game. The heart of the game is very like Breath of the Wild. I get why people say it. It's Breath of the Wild exploration, that kind of stuff. So many distractions, so many like sidetracking. Like you're going from point A to point B for a quest, and they do a very good job of like sparkly. There's a sparkly over here too.
Right.
You want to go look at this sparkly over here? Hey, do you remember what you were doing? Oh, you don't?
Hey, listen.
Don't worry about it. This is the game, though. Like you're doing stuff. Like you're like, okay, I'm gonna pick these flowers. I'm gonna go smash this rock and get some ore. I'm gonna go. Oh, look at that! That thing is shining in the distance. I'm gonna go take a look at what that treasure box, like what enemies around that treasure box. And by the time you get done doing all the distracting shit, it's like an hour later, and you're like, oh right, I was like 5 feet from doing a quest.
Well, let me go back to my question then, because that kind of leads into it. What is the main goal? Is there like a thorough line quest that talks about the adventure of the waifus, or like what do you like? What do you do essentially? Like, is it all these challenges? Are you going for? Because I've seen a lot of temples. I've seen like people go into the temples and like do some trials or whatever. But is there a main quest line? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
There's a main storyline. All the characters you get, from what I gather, all the characters you roll for or whatever.
Yeah.
They're characters that you meet later in the game. They're characters in the game, in the story of the game. And you can get characters before you ever even meet them. Like, I got a character, like, there's a limited time banner, which means a limited time that you can roll for this particular character with the best chance of getting it.
Okay.
Character named Venti, who is like a wind element, right? And you can like I got the character, like I rolled it before I ever met the character in the game. So you actually like can play as all the characters that you've rolled for, and it's kind of humorous when you walk up to Venti for the first time as Venti. You're like looking at yourself like the Spider-Man meme. Like, but I mean, when you talk to them, you switch to the main character. Like, all the story elements happen with you as the main character.
And the main character you make, right?
No. The main character you start as either the brother or the sister.
Oh, okay.
That's your choice, basically. But you I don't know a lot of people who play with the main character in the overworld, just going from place to place and doing challenges or whatnot. I mean, it's not that the main character's bad. It's just like I paid for, or I rolled for these. Like, I want to play with them, like that kind of thing. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Um, but so there is a running story throughout the game, but I didn't get to a lot of it because of all the fucking distractions there are.
Yeah. What are the
So
distractions in the sense of just mini
like
mini
this,
quests? Oh, okay, just like mini trials, stuff like that.
yeah, mini trials, challenges, like there's treasure chests and whatnot. A lot of menuing,
Oh yeah. Okay.
and I mean it's menuing that you put on yourself because every single item you pick up has a stat and it has like a percentage of like it gives like 2 to 3 star or 3 to 4 star. Let me start again. 3, 4, and 5-star items, artifacts, basically like your buff items.
Right.
They all have their own stats that get randomized and rolled on. So a lot of time you're going through like your flower artifacts and going like, all right, that's not attack. Okay, that's defense. That would go on her. Okay, that one is elemental. Okay, no, that goes on that guy. But what about if I put those guys and do a lot of that? If I put this on that, and then that on that, if I buff this, or if I refine that, and also there's a lot of character refinement or not refinement,
Advancement.
just upgrading basically.
Yeah.
So if you get like duplicates of a sword, you can do 2 things. You can melt those 2 swords together to make a level 2 refinement sword, and you can also put in crystals or other garbage items to like melt down to raise the item's actual level. So there's a refinement level and the weapons level itself. The weapon level can go up to 20, and then you have to what's the word, chat?
Upgrade.
After you get a thing to level 20, and then you like go ascend. There you go.
Oh, like
you ascend, basically
okay.
Level it up again. Yeah, exactly. It's just like never ending process where you like, I got a 5 refinement. 5 is the max refinement, and refinement, if you remember, is when you take the same exact item and mash them together. So you can get up to 5 of that. 20 level. When you get that, then you ascend it and get prestige levels basically.
Does that ever end? Is there a cap to the numbers?
I don't. I'm assuming, but I don't know.
Okay.
It just gets super duper expensive. There is an absolute max level. Okay, level 90, I guess.
Oh, Venti's
level.
dude?
Yeah, Vent. There's a bunch of male characters that you can
I thought
play.
He was wearing a okay.
Like, there's that guy right
I thought
there.
they were wearing
and the braids. No. I said the same thing, and people were like, "That's a he," and I went, "Anime."
Oh,
yeah.
I totally thought they were wearing a corset. I guess that was way off.
Okay. Anime. Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely like super anime elements to the game. You do get followed around by an annoying
Paimon.
You get followed around by Paimon, and she is annoying. She looks like a flying baby with a full diaper. And her voice, like, I'm sure it might be different in other languages, but I'm guessing it's not. But it's super high pitched, and she's whiny, and you say you're gonna eat her all the time, which I think is kind of funny. Like that's the part I didn't expect.
I've seen a lot of random like stills of the game with the dialogue being just really on the nose, like super sexual innuendo type stuff, and also some things that are just super serious. Like I've seen a clip, I think Rami tweeted it, of someone walking up to a random kid on the street, and the kid's like, "Oh, I lost my dad. I wonder when my dad's gonna show back up," or something like that. And you're like, "Gotta go."
Timmy.
Yeah.
You meet him pretty early on in the game. Like he's on the bridge on the way to the first like big city. So you stop. You're like, "Hey, Timmy." He's like, "Maybe my dad will come back from the store." And you're like, I fucking lost it. I was like, "Oh my god!"
You don't expect that in this game. That's why.
It kind of came out of nowhere.
To steal from someone in my chat, they said there's a lot of tone whiplash in the game, and that's what I've seen a lot of.
Yes, for sure.
Good term.
But yeah, let's see. The main story, like it unravels slowly on the way to the main, like throughout the main story, they drop tutorials on stuff like, hey, before you do this, why don't we learn how to glide? Okay, so you got to do like a 3-step mission for like gliding. You know, you got to beat like these times. Like, oh, good, you can glide now. Back to the main story. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
So you do that a lot in the early stages, but after 20 something hours, like I barely scratched the surface of the game and of the story. But I feel like that's what everyone does. Everyone spends like half their time actually playing, if not less, and half their time like looking at the stuff they got or getting more stuff.
Right. What I've seen everyone saying like what AR they are, which I assume is what rank or level they are. What?
Yes,
Master
adventurer
level.
rank.
Yeah. What AR did you get to, or are you currently at?
I ended my stream yesterday AR 13, I believe.
Okay, and 50 is the cap.
I am not sure.
Chat. I see a bunch of 37s, 21. I'm barely 21. I'm waiting to see what chat. Oh, 60 is the cap. Okay. All right. Damn.
60s cap. Okay.
That's a lot of grinding.
So yeah, I unlocked AR. So I haven't even done like a quote unquote boss fight yet. I'm pretty sure I haven't at least. Nothing has felt like a boss fight. So I'm interested to see like how it goes. I'm probably not going to be playing it anymore on stream.
Yeah.
I don't think. It's probably going to be like a offline time waster game like Warframe became for me. Not time. I hate that I said that. Time waster.
That's
Just
negative
time-
connotation.
just- Yeah,
Time
offline
sink.
hobby.
Yeah, time sync. Yeah. There you go.
It's a
Is
PoE.
sync better?
Yeah. You sync
Well, I mean,
time
it's
into
not
it.
quite as derogatory. You know, I mean, it does take. It's an endless game in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So you know,
Time
it's
spender. Yeah, time spender.
There you go.
I
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a game that I pop back in. I'm sure, like, put a couple hours in here and there, and just like, you know, explore, raise my level, look at my items, marvel over how great they are, and stuff like that. I will say, I guess we could get into the gambling gacha aspect, unless you
Yeah.
guys have any more questions.
No, let's talk about that aspect of it for sure. I think that
Okay.
along with the game's really good are the two kind of story threads that I see most people pull on. So let's
Mhm.
talk about the gotcha stuff.
Sure. If you want to like fast forward to like more like closer to the end of the stream, there it is.
Yep.
Wait, no,
This
That's
is
it.
the shop, but oh yeah, this
Yep.
is you right here. Perfect.
this is me doing the thing. Okay. So the gambling gotcha aspect of the game is it's laid out just, I mean, like a lot of loot box games and stuff like that. They give you like, hey, thanks for coming to our casino. Here's some free coins. Enjoy. If you would like to buy some more coins, you just come see me or any of the kiosks posted around the casino. Thanks for coming. So you're like, holy shit, I got all these free tokens. All right, let me plug that shit in. And then you roll like, you can do single pulls, which means just one at a time, or you can do pulls of 10. There's a couple of guarantees that the game lays out for you. Well, the game lays out everything for you, which is pretty helpful, pretty useful. You can check the details of every like pull that you do. You can check the odds, the percentage of winning, all that kind of stuff, the guaranteed stuff, and they lay it all out for you. And like sometimes it's in like fucking deep legalese where you're just like, wow, they really went into it.
I think they have to do that for legal purposes, and some
They have to?
in
Okay,
some
maybe so.
regions. Yeah, a lot
Okay.
of I don't say a lot of Europe, but I know some countries in Europe have basically like demanded this, like from a legal
Okay.
point of view. Yeah,
Like I said, first time checking one of these kind of things out. So
yeah, same here.
I was
same
surprised.
here.
I was surprised to see it. Like all laid out in just like paragraph form. But they do tell you get certain guarantees for every 10 polls. Basically, the system or the word they use. This is also a thing. It's very convoluted as far as the currencies go.
Yeah, is that
Certain
normal?
currencies for certain things.
Because like
Apparently,
my experience with loot boxes are like spend X money, get a loot box. Great.
yeah.
This one was like spend X money, put it into one currency, then make a wish and use a different currency for that while also using another. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's convoluted on purpose. So you actually don't know how much a box cost or a pull cost, I think, right?
Sort of, yeah. It's like the why you buy chips in Vegas and don't use money.
Right.
Because it doesn't feel like real money.
Yeah.
So what you buy with the money, there's a buffer between that and what you spend on wishing on the pulls.
Okay. Wishing
so it's
is
not
pull.
the same thing. Like you get gems with money. But in order to get wishes, you get see, it's confusing.
There's gems or something.
It's you trade your gems for prima gems, right? And then prima gems for fates.
Okay.
And there's 2 different kinds of fates.
That's what I'm saying. It's
One
fucking
fate,
confusing, Co.
One fate is for just a regular pull, and the other fates are for the limited time pulls. So here's why I understand why they do this. They do this because I go into a convenience store and I say, give me a pack of Camel menthols. And they're like, okay. And they give me something that looks almost exactly like what I want, but it's not what I want. I get it home and I'm like, fuck, I already opened it. There's no way I can exchange it. I already paid the money. So I got to go back to the store and get exactly what I want. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They make shit look alike because if you want to do a limited time pull and you have the wrong fate, you can't pull. You can't do it.
Yeah.
I get it. So be careful when you're when you get what you want, or make sure you get what you want. Anyway, going back to the guaranteed shit.
Okay.
There are, for every 10 pulls, you get guaranteed 1 4-star or purple. It's the same color system that everything else uses. So you get 1 4-star purple item, whether it's depending on the banner, depending on what you pull on. It's either a character or a weapon. I don't think you can pull for artifacts, right? I don't think an artifact things you can pull for, but I haven't seen any.
I don't know what
I'm
that
not
is.
Sure. Artifacts are the power-ups. Like there's the character, the tune, the weapon they use, and then just the power-ups. No artifacts. Okay, good. Okay. So it's either weapons or characters. That's it. That's all you get.
Okay.
But every 10 pulls, you're guaranteed to get a 4-star one. Now and this is the thing that sneaks up on you. Every 90 pulls, guaranteed 5-star, like the toppest, the tippy toppest that you can get.
So my question to follow that is, if someone pasted this in chat, so please tell me if it's wrong, but it's money into primo gems, into stardust, into fates, which there are 2 kinds, into a wish. How much is 90 pulls at the start of that in like USD? Off the top of your head, do you know that? And chat might be able to. Someone in chat saying $85, about 110 USD.
No, I would say it's 110.
My chat's saying 200.
Because you get like 9,000 for $100, and 9,000 is not enough to get you 10 pulls.
My chat is saying if you're wanting to do like a guaranteed pull, you get it, and then you want to do another guaranteed pull, it's $200.
$2 a pull is what chat says. Yeah, 100 pulls. Is
so this is how you kind of look when you're doing it. You go from the last, and they keep track for you, which is the least they could fucking do. But they do keep track for you the last time you pulled a 5-star. So you can so you look at your history. Say, all right, there's my 5-star. That was 20 pulls ago. I've done 20 pulls since I got my last 5-star. That means within 70 more pulls, I will get another 5-star thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you get a 5-star
when you get one.
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So most of the 5-stars I got didn't take me 90 pulls. But one of them did. One of them I think I got on like the 5th, one I got on the 7th, and then another one I got on the 80 whatever pull. Or excuse me, the 70th, the 50th, I'm sorry, because there's 2 ways you can do this. You can pull 1 wish at a time, or you can do 10 at once.
Right.
Yeah, and if you're whaling, you're doing 10, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Did you? How much money did you spend on it so far? If you're comfortable sharing.
I'm absolutely comfortable sharing. I've been very transparent about this. To start with, the first 2 days, I didn't spend any of my own money, and I spent $337 of chat's money. Okay. I was doing my free rolls after doing my first day, and then people. It's like I felt a little bit like a stripper, like at that time. It's like, nah, keep going.
I mean, it's a little enabling.
Keep going, bud.
Yeah, people do that for me in PoE. When PoE puts their new like loot chest, people say like, "Hey man, you didn't get those wings. Here's $20. Good luck." And it's like,
totally.
All right, because I don't want to like say, actually, I'm going to buy myself a steak tonight. It's like, no, I'm going to use it for that's what you asked for. So here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for people who might be going technically, actually, whatever. Yes, if people give it to me, it is my money that I'm spending. But I say chat's money just so you know what's happening.
Right.
So like people, and I understand that because I've done the same thing to streamers. Like I've thrown money at like throwing 10, 20 spot, $50, like been like, go, keep going. I want to see it. Like, cause it's like you're gambling with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's great. I completely understand that feeling. So I did that. And then on the last day, which was yesterday that I was playing it, I said, I'm probably not going to stream this anymore. So I'm going to put some of my own money in because it's fun. So I put $200 in, and the last, I mean, it was very, very good content because the last 10 pull I did, I got like dial up. That's what I call him. It's DILUC. It's like D-Luke or whatever. It's a character.
Yeah.
I got a 5-star character, and it was the last 10 pull I did. So it was like great content, hooray!
It worked out.
But if you go through, like, I stop periodically in my stream, or like after I did all that, and I opened my menu and I showed everything. I went $537. This is what I got, and I showed everybody like this is all you get for that kind of money, and I did pretty well.
Yeah,
like, I wasn't.
Everyone's saying
polls.
you're pretty lucky with that. So
yeah, there was some good luck there for sure. It wasn't insane, but it was definitely on the better side. Like luckily I did a little bit of streamer luck better. It wasn't like crazy, but it was definitely like pretty good.
Yeah.
However, still it's $537 that I spent on this game.
It's like almost 10 full-priced gaming experiences.
Yeah. I mean, that's mobile. That's the mobile gamification of the video game industry right there over the course.
And that's why, like, I want like I hope that other streamers are as transparent as I try to be about this, because I think that is important. You can't look at a streamer's way of playing a game, especially with a gambling aspect, like you yourself would play it. If I was playing this game, and I could totally see myself playing this game, like starting it and playing it off stream, I can tell you that I probably, at this point, with this many hours, I probably wouldn't have spent a dime yet. It took me a good long while before I spent money on Warframe. Like, it took me, I want to say like 40, 50 hours playing Warframe for free before I felt like, I'm going to put some money on this because I'm impatient or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because you pay to speed up in Warframe. This felt like that. Like, when it came to that point, I was like, I got so much shit to fucking discover in the game that I don't even feel like spending money yet because I don't know even what I'm paying for. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
So it felt like that. However, once I got going on it, like, I felt it. I was like, oh, I feel the draw. Also, $100 goes fucking fast if you're doing 10 pulls.
Well, I watched Strippin do that the week that the game came out, and he would do like 5 or 6 pulls, what I imagined, and it's like, yep, that was $100. I was like, holy shit, like that was so, and that's someone that spent a lot of money on PoE, and that goes fast. Like, this went real fast. It was just, I was surprised by how fast it goes, for sure.
I'm very glad you have that point of view, Zeke, and I really wish everyone did, um, because it's not one that's prevalent throughout the whole thing. Like,
Really?
do we want to like
I,
start talking about opinions on this at this point, or is there anything else you wanted to talk about it with Zeke?
No, I'm totally down to talk about whatever. Like I had a little minor back and forth, like with Man vs. Game, who is has very strong opinions about this type of shit.
Yeah.
And I went back and forth, and I all I have to say about it is like go in with your eyes open, like know what's going on here, know you're walking into a casino if you do that aspect, but also if you walk into that casino, you can just go watch Circus, or you can just or Cirque du Soleil. You can just go, nah, I'm not gonna go in there. No blackjack tables, no slot machines for me.
that's
I'm
how
just
I
gonna
am.
go to Cirque du Soleil and check it out, man. It's gonna be great. I got a free ticket for Cirque du Soleil. I'm gonna watch it.
It's
That's
funny
all
for
I'm gonna
me
do.
because in Vegas, that's how I am. But in games, I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just let me look. Let's get this wings, or let's get these wings, or get this armor set, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says or means, but that's just how I am. So, yeah. Let's talk about it though. Ko, you wanted to open up the conversation, so by all means.
Yeah. So first of all, I see some people in chat being like, "Oh, Ko's gonna rip into it. Ko's gonna rant about it," and no, I'm not. So but this game brings up some really interesting things to talk about as gamers, and how this kind of system has infiltrated kind of our sphere here. So first of all, I was in, just like Zeke said, I was in Man vs. Games channel this morning, and he was having a really interesting discussion with his chat. A lot of people were chiming in, a lot of things were being said about this type of game, and a lot of the stuff that was said there resonated with me as well. So the thing that's interesting to talk about is, first of all, if you guys remember on this show in general, I have this story that I've told a couple times, and it was about what Square Enix did with Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. And the story, TLDR, is basically that there was this game franchise, Deus Ex, which I love, and Square Enix decided to put in the ability to buy skill points after paying the premium $60 for the game to get the stuff in the game. Now, the obvious overt thing to say is, oh, well, you don't like it, don't buy it. But the point that I would come up with is, well, here's the thing. Square Enix put that in there to try to get money from you. So because you know it's in there, and because you know it's there to try to entice you to use it, we'll never know for sure if that being there affected the game itself. Like how, maybe there was a time when a games designer put in 3 skill points in a level, and somebody from marketing walked up and said, let's just put 2 in there to encourage the player to want to use this exterior way that we want to make money. So of course, this is a small thing, but this is something that I've been, commenting on since this game came out, years and years and years now. Gacha, this game, is essentially an example of, if you take that concept, but you build an entire well-made game around it. So the thing with this game is that every single thing you do is designed to make you like it, to feel invested, to stay interested, to make it easier to dump huge amounts of money into it. The entire game, foundationally, is designed to make you like it, so you will pour huge amounts of money into it. Now, there are people that start by saying, oh, I'm only going to play for free. I'm never going to put a penny into it. That's totally fine. And I'm not going to be one of those people that spends money on it. And then after they've spent 60, 80, 100 hours in there, then all of a sudden they hit a wall, or all of a sudden they get to a point where they're like, hey, just get some of this resin and stuff, and you can play a little bit longer. Or hey, maybe we have this deal going on that, you can get a bunch of wishes for a reduced price. And then all of a sudden those people are going, I'll just do it this once. And it's kind of like, this is how all of this starts. The whole game is designed to pull as much money as possible from people who get weaker over time by giving themselves reasonings for why it's okay to do it. And it's dangerous. Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling you not to play this game. I'm not telling you it's not a good game. In fact, it's the opposite. This game's really good from what I'm hearing. This game's great from what I'm hearing. There's actually a good AAA style RPG in here, which makes it even more dangerous for what I'm saying right now. Like this is what's so interesting about the discussion around this game, is that this is the kind of thing we're going to start seeing, where really good, interesting, engaging games, maybe in the future, if some of our favorite franchises are foundationally designed to pull as much money from you as possible. So one of the reasons I'm not playing it, because I don't like, yeah, it might be cool and it might be really fun and engaging and stuff, but I don't like the premise of this game. I don't like it. More importantly, I know that if I played it, I'd probably spend a lot of money on it. People would probably give me a lot of money to get pulls, and then I'm going to show tens of thousands of people a completely unrealistic thing that looks a lot more fun than they're probably going to do. And in their mind, they're going to go, I need to spend money, so I'm having as much fun as Co. I don't want to be that guy.
Mhm.
So it's interesting, man. Like this is a style of game, and this is not gonna. It's not the first. Gacha's been around for a long time, and the success of this means it's definitely not going to be the last. But this is going to be a discussion that I think people really need to be in tune with. I think they need to educate themselves. I think they need to be fully aware when they start by saying, I'm not going to spend a penny, and they need to be super cognitive the first time they even get the tickle to put a penny into it. And that's where we are. That's how I feel about it.
It's
Steam.
like very good, very good. All right, the next TED Talk will be in Auditorium B. You want to make your way? No, I'm kidding. That's very well said. It's a lot like if you never pick up smoking, you don't know what you're missing, and good. You know, like if you can play the game without like having the temptation, like going in there and like that kind of shit, that's good. Please do. I want to make the point that in free to play games, the people who do the shit like that, hopefully responsibly, like paid, like they keep the game free for everyone, which I don't mind doing. I didn't mind doing it for Warframe. I don't mind doing it for this. But yeah,
it brings up an interesting thing.
Transparency is super important.
That was for the sake of conversation. You played Warframe and you played PoE. Is that ethics out the window because it's not on the nose?
This is this is part of the discussion. This is absolutely part of the discussion. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
This is part of that discussion as well. Not only, and this actually leads to another interesting thing. So there's two arguments that you can use. For Warframe, you can say, well, first of all, people in the game can get the same currency for free. And second of all you're generally doing is diverting farming, which is something that you can do as much as you want whenever you want. But in the same vein, you're still using real currency to get things in the game. So is that an excuse? No, it's not really. And this is the kind of thing where this is where it even gets more complicated. Things are not black and white. So people have to decide, like, how okay am I with this? Because as these types of things move forward, I think we're going to see more and more gray areas where it's not going to be cut and dry. It's not like as game companies come up with more and more ways to get money from us, they're going to come up with more and more ways and mechanisms to do so. So people are going to have to make their own decisions. What am I okay with? Like, what's all right? Like, for instance, something else we were talking about this morning that was interesting. PoE. Okay, the argument for PoE. It's all cosmetic, right? It's all cosmetic. So in that case, you're not actually gaining any power. So that makes it totally okay, right? Well, let's think about this. When you are a PoE player and you give money to PoE and you get that super rare skin, what happens? You get that little dopamine rush. When you're playing a pay to win game and you get that super good item that makes you stronger, what do you get? You get that little dopamine. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's two different things in the game, but you're buying the same thing. Like it doesn't like there's arguments if it's pay to win or not, but the argument that you're paying for these super rare little dopamine hits, I mean, it's arguably almost exactly the same. So it brings this interesting thing into play where it's like, why is one okay and why is one not? Like you could argue from a game mechanics perspective, but you can't really from a pour money into it perspective. So that's again where you kind of have to draw the line. For me, like right now with how Warframe is, like I'm kind of okay with Warframe. I mean, it's pay to progress. Everyone can farm for it, and most importantly, you can farm stuff and then trade for the currency and do it yourself. If you couldn't do that last part, that might be the line for me. That might be for me where I'm like, oh, you can only buy platinum? Free-to-play players could never get it? Well, that's that little step over the line that for me, this is probably where I want to duck out. But as long as you can do that, I'm kind of okay with it. Because people that want to know life the game have hordes of platinum, which is the same things you can buy with money, and that's cool. If Genshin did something like that, maybe it'd be a lot better with Genshin. But Genshin's funnily the opposite. If you want to farm a lot in Genshin, you have to pay money to do it to recharge the energy to do so.
You can farm the currency.
As far as I understand.
Yeah,
And actually, I'm hoping Zeke kind of gets to that point because I want to fundamentally understand the resin system because I've heard weird things about it. Some people have told me you can farm as much as you want, but then others told me that it's just pay to progress. So I'd like to figure out exactly how that works and get more info. But
yeah,
when I heard a streamer talk about it, he said that in Genshin you will get to a point where you need to actually put money in to keep playing the high end like best farming stuff. And that to me that's not Warframe. That's not Warframe at all. Like that's a pretty thick line.
Yeah.
So okay, chat's saying that's wrong. Okay, that's good to know. Resin resets daily. You can farm primo. Okay, so now that person said I'm correct. See, okay. We're gonna stop that until we get going on.
From what I've gathered,
I'm trying to be super upfront that I don't know how this system works.
Yeah.
But anyway,
from what I've gathered, it's you can do it, but it's like super duper slow. Like it's
probably on purpose.
Yeah, multiple times slower than farming in other free to pay games or free to play games. You can do it. It's just super duper annoying. Like, you have to farm 1,000 things to get one pull or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, and again, the line, it's all going to be different for every person. The lines in which they draw when it's just too much. And as we move forward, those lines are going to be becoming thinner and they're going to becoming more numerous as we have to figure it out. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think Genshin is one of the first times we've seen like an actually good game be tied to this system as deep as it has. At least the first one that's become like popular and big.
I would say
I pretty much promise you this is not the last time we're going to be talking about this on this show.
I would say it's the first time that maybe the Twitch ecosystem has been involved in like a big thing, but like FIFA is one of the biggest games in the world for a lot of people, and they've been doing this shit for years.
That's a good point.
With their pack system.
That's kind of disassociated from our current kind of gaming. Like that's almost a different community.
Twitch is
but again, we're going to start
sure.
seeing that get into ours as they see different ways to use systems like that to tap into our revenue.
Oh yeah.
So our revenue being the money gamers spend on this stuff. So
yeah. FIFA's pretty egregious with their pack system. I think like Ubisoft has definitely touched the waters. Not really touched waters. They're fucking in the deep end. With
they made the water.
yeah. With their stuff that they put into Assassin's Creed. I don't know if they've said if any of that's going to be in Valhalla. They haven't really talked about like. I forget if it was like you could pay for levels or you could buy gear or something like that in the other Assassin's Creed. We had a long conversation about it on the show. I do remember. But I don't know if any of that stuff's going to be in Valhalla. It probably will be. So yeah, I mean, it'll eventually be in most games because essentially developers are trying to find more and more ways to, in the non-free to play market, and especially in the free to play market, I guess, to make you spend more money or to allow you to spend more money after you have the initial purchase. So yeah, it'll be everywhere. It already is everywhere in a lot of cases.
One thing I really, really noticed, because I'm one of the, you guys don't do it, but I actually gamble on my stream. Like I play blackjack, like actual blackjack on my stream. And the 2.5 days that I played this game, I got the question 100 times more of how much money have you spent. Then when I'm actually gambling actual real money.
I think that's why people watch this game in a lot of cases. Yeah. They want to see how much money is spent. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's like openings.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean to put, hold on. I don't mean to put it like I'm not spending real money. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. Blackjack is only gambling. This game, you don't have to. It's optional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can't play blackjack without money. Like, it's not a game then.
It's required. Yeah.
But that is universally accepted as a casino game, as something that people have lost lots of money playing. And I've lost my fair share of money playing blackjack, but I've always had fun doing it. But people like get really up in arms about this. And I think it's because the packaging and it's a game. It's a game that it's an RPG. It's a fucking video game, whereas blackjack is not.
Yeah, that's true. It's most importantly, a lot of people see as like a really good game that you don't necessarily have to pay a penny for, which I think is a big thing. Like that's a huge pull for a lot of people. I mean, when this game first got released, I had literally hundreds of people ask me to play it every single day.
Yeah,
I still do. I still have people asking me all the time if I'm going to be playing Genshin. So you know, I mean, it's kind of a big deal, dude. It's kind of a big deal, for sure.
People saying the big difference is blackjack's 10-year-olds aren't allowed in blackjack casinos. This is I play online. No one's checking my age at the fucking door.
Yeah.
Like that argument is out the fucking window.
I think you have to click an age box and that's it. But everyone's born in
Maybe.
1920s when it comes to that. Right?
Yeah, everybody's born in 1901, I think.
Yeah.
What's your
On the
birthday?
same
January
day.
1st,
January
1901.
That's accurate. That's what those age checks boil down to, unfortunately. Yeah, they really don't do a whole lot, for sure.
Steam is like, hey, it's your 110th birthday today. Congratulations.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, yeah.
But yeah, like it's I just want to preach the, like, eyes open. Go into it with your eyes open. And other streamers, don't be irresponsible with this shit.
Don't,
like, I don't want to see. I don't want to see fucking videos.
Shit, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I stuttered.
Yeah,
I was going to say streamers don't, and then I stopped. Okay. Streamers, be responsible with shit. If you're posting content, like, it's dishonest to post something on YouTube that took you, $100 to get, and like you act like surprised when it's a guarantee. Like, you were guaranteed to get something. You're like, oh my god, like, that's dishonest. Don't do that.
Let me ask you this: when it comes into like bringing, because eventually I think most people in chat say like, oh yeah, wait till laws start to catch up with all of this stuff. What if there's a world where X amount of years in the future, streamers have to disclose how much money they've put into the game on the stream in a visible area?
I think that'd be great. Dude, what it should be like is, you remember how they made it so there had to be those big black box warning on cigarettes that stared you in the face?
Yeah.
See this thing right here?
Same
See this thing right here? Across the top, it should say total money spent. And every time you go into your inventory, it should be right there at the top in the center. Total money spent.
Yeah.
You've spent this much money. Hell, put it on the screen, just permanently in a little box in the top left corner. Total money spent.
Yeah.
And it's just always looking right there.
It'd be interesting. I don't think that's far from like fantasy. Like it could very well occur. The only issue that is a little bit worrisome is that when it comes to the people actually making the laws on this shit, they have no fucking clue what the hell they're talking about. And so it might go down a really weird path of like, the people pushing that stuff could potentially be the game developers. At least here in the US, there could be game developer lobbyists, right? Or publishers, I should say, not developers. And they could get some real weird shit in there where people could bypass it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if that stuff will come anytime soon, at least in the US. Politics are a little bit more focused on other things right now. But yeah, it might come down to it one day where, that comes true. You never know. We'll see.
Yep. That's I'm one of the reasons why I'm done streaming it. I'm not going to stream it anymore, is because I checked it out, had fun playing it. We had our little. I viewed it like a Vegas trip. It's like we had our little fun. We spent some money. All right, time to go back home. Like, let's not move here and live here. How about?
It's nice for a vacation. We are moving.
Yeah, exactly.
What were you gonna say, Co? Before we moved on?
Before we move on from Genshin, I've had definitely a couple chats open during this. Big thank you to our viewers. There's been a huge amount of very good discussion and comments in the chat on this. Really do appreciate it. I wish, I think I speak for all of us when I say I wish we could respond and like get back to, you know, a lot of the very good points made on both sides. But yeah, very cool. Like I've just been reading like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of like astute, good, well-written observations on this stuff. It's a very interesting thing to talk about. And yeah, thank you guys for doing it.
Yeah, I would
I'm
agree.
sure we'll be talking a lot more about this kind of stuff as we move forward.
I would agree.
Only a matter of time until we see our first EA gacha. Let's be real.
I mean, I think
With
it
our
already
favorite
exists.
franchise in the middle of it.
That's the thing. Yeah, they'll start
Mass Effect
infiltrating.
Impact!
Yeah, they're gonna start infiltrating other genres for sure, and they already have in a lot of cases. But yeah, there's a reason why most MMOs now have like shops where you can buy transmog gear, right? It's essentially the same thing in a lot of ways, and they have level skips in MMOs, right? Like they're figuring out how to stay alive, essentially, at least from the MMO world. That's one way to take it. The other way to take it is they're figuring out how to make more money.
I mean, can you imagine when these companies start taking like our favorite single player franchises and start spending like putting in monthly subscription fees? Shit, Fallout.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also wonder
Took me
too.
a second to realize what you said, but good one.
I also wonder too to bring Game Pass in it. Do you think Game Pass is a hurdle that like stops that type of practice? Like, if games are behind Game Pass, is there a game behind Game Pass that actually has MTX in it? Is that a thing? I guess Fallout's one of them, right?
Ooh. Yeah, Fallout 76 is definitely on Game
is in
Pass.
there.
When you say MTX, what is it?
Microtransactions. Like
Microtransactions.
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah, that in some case, chat points out like that probably encourages it more, right? Because you're paying a monthly service, so you're quote getting the games for free, as people say.
Dude.
So why not spend a little bit
You're
extra
paying
money?
a monthly service for games that aren't always on the monthly service, and then you put money into those games, and then they leave the monthly service.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, that's like a gateway.
Didn't turn the intro off. Saved it though. Yeah, no, it is.
Oh geez.
It is 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess Destiny 2 is behind Game Pass. You get all the expansions, but it has a in-game store. Sea of Thieves is also there. So, yeah. I guess Fall Guys isn't on Game Pass, but Fall Guys definitely has in-game store for sure. Which is kind of a weird. That getting into the game specific stuff for having stores is a whole nother discussion, but. Yeah, that's the game industry in a nutshell, for at least from a publisher, at least from a AAA publisher. It's like, how can we get more money out of it? I think, didn't EA commit to making games $70 for next gen as well? Isn't that a thing that's happening?
Something about that. Even more expensive around the world.
Yeah. So they're trying to figure out ways to make more money, which businesses are prone to do. So that might have been Activision, might have been everyone. Activision.
Valhalla's
and 2K.
just straight up $70. Yeah.
What was that?
Someone in chat just said Valhalla is $70.
Oh, so Ubisoft is doing it too. Okay. Gotcha. Now, is that only for... You're not going to know this. I guess I'm talking to the person. I wonder if that's only for consoles and the PC version is 60, or if
No
that's
idea.
70 across the board. I don't know. There's also, that's the other reason why people have deluxe editions, where you get a free in-game skin for 10 extra bucks or 20 extra bucks, right? Like that shit's been there for a very long time. Demon Souls is 70.
PC is, okay, people are saying PC is 60. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Next gen stuff.
It's so weird to think about like how much, like if the price remains the same for, consoles and PC.
Yeah.
And actually, even with consoles, like they almost they're eliminating the necessity for hard copies of anything. So like that cost for them is gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you're paying $70 for like a space on a hard drive. It's insane to think about that. And the space like relatively is so small. It's like I love it. I love the future.
Yeah. As someone points out in chat, yeah, I generally do only buy the deluxe editions. I'm one of those people. Generally, I actually buy the collector's edition. Actually, that's even worse. Generally, I buy the collector's edition and I buy the digital version because the collector's edition won't show up till the day of the game actually being out. And I can't stream it until like 3 or 4 whenever UPS gets here. So I'm buying the digital as well. So
I am guilty of that as well.
that's a
So
streamer
that
thing.
person
Yeah.
saying you're paying $70 for the creativity put into the game. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they have eliminated like at least half of the hard copy costs, like making discs and boxes and booklets and instruction manuals and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
pass the savings on to the digital people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the perfect example of that is why do you think Game Pass is being pushed so hard?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
True.
there's no physical goods there at all. It's a $25 digital fee, right? So, anyways,
What
were we gonna say?
Nothing.
Okay, all right.
People saying, "What's a booklet?" I'm like, the hard copy still come with an instruction booklet, right? Instruction
No.
manual.
Generally, most hard copies come with a slip that has a CD key on the back of it that then you type into Steam or whatever online thing. Everyone, well,
Like,
that's
you get a
that's not fair.
PlayStation game, you get a disc, but you don't get a book anymore.
There's no books for PlayStation games. Well, let me be
In a
fair.
long time.
There's no CDs for PC games. For console games, they are
Right.
required to have a disc, like Xbox and,
Right.
and PlayStation. Yeah, but you don't get booklets. Generally, you'll get an art book if you get like the collector's edition.
But they don't come with like little like things inside the cover, like
Oh,
inside
no.
the case.
Tutorials are load screens now, or were load screens. They're not going to be for very long, but
Listen,
Dude,
I'm
I
not
had
old.
so much fun
I just
reading
haven't
those
bought
books.
a fucking console game.
Oh, I love those
hard
books.
copy console thing forever.
yeah, yeah. Those manuals
I've
are
been
great.
digital for 7-8 years now, solely digital.
I like those manuals for a weird reason, and it's that it had the new game smell attached to the manuals. So I'll always remember that smell of reading an RPG thing and learning about the different characters in the RPG because they give you a little like snippet, but then it would have that new game smell to it as well. So
I do miss that.
I do.
You know what I miss? I miss the fucking. Remember Legend of Zelda? Okay, I am old. I'm 40 years old. So Legend of Zelda,
for
and it
the
had a booklet in it, and it had a fucking story with original art and shit.
Yeah.
And then you play the game, you're like, it's not living up to the art in the booklet, but it gives me a sense of what's going on at least, you know.
yeah.
I mean, the game was pretty good, but the instruction manual, it was like a solid
Yeah.
10 of 10.
This
Dude,
is gonna be. The funny thing is, I was like, this is gonna be great when the art catches up with the game. You know, they're both the same. And then Breath of the Wild comes out. I'm like, this is boring. It's like it caught up, and I don't want to play it.
Yeah, yeah. I still remember, we're talking about like old school manuals. I still remember the original. I remember Final Fantasy VI manual with Mog on the thing with like leaning with the letters Final Fantasy VI and then Super Nintendo in red on the bottom. And I remember the original WoW manual as well, which is, not as old as like Final Fantasy VI, but that thing was fucking thick, right? Like they had a lot of stuff in that. I remember reading that stuff. So.
Oh,
Anyways,
man.
now manuals are in deluxe editions. You pay an extra $10 for that stuff.
Today on Old Gamers Talk About Old Games.
Yeah,
Um,
it's true. It's true. What time is it? We got about 20 minutes for a break. I can fit this in 20 minutes. It's not going to be, I guess if you guys have questions about it, you can ask, but it's more, I have questions for you guys after playing an hour of Yakuza Like a Dragon the other day.
Oh man,
Is this
saw
game,
that tweet.
hold on. Is this game as weird as this game is? Like, is this genre as weird? It's fucking bizarre, man. I knew that there was like serious moments in it. But
Yeah.
as we'll walk around
I'm
here.
like on a super blackout for this. So yeah, we just show fighting and stuff.
Yeah, I skipped all the story stuff anyway. I can only stream
Thank
it for
you.
an hour. But like I'm walking around and stumble upon random fights. And I walk up next to this door, and all of a sudden the trash bags next to the door pop arms and legs, and I'm fighting a man wearing a trash bag.
That's pretty standard.
Is that standard?
it's here and there. I don't know how prevalent it is in this game, but I know in Yakuza likes to go to the absurd and the funny from time to time. Like you fight a group of men and like that. like Mr.
I'll tell you this guy's story in just a sec.
What's his name? Mr.
Libido.
Mr. Libido.
Mr.
Okay,
Libido.
I have
There you
heard of
go,
Mr. Libido.
So it's a thing, yeah, for sure. It'll do this every once in a while. I'm not sure how often it happens in this game. Hopefully a lot.
It happened a lot in the
But like
hour
you
that I
fight like
played.
adult men in baby diapers and
Fought that.
bibs and bonnets and shit like that. Like that happens.
I walked into an
Par for the
adult.
course.
I walked into an adult store because I needed to buy a big. Well, it was a weapon, and I think it was just called Big Vibrator, or Big Massager, or something like that.
Okay.
And that's what the main character here is using in these fights. And then when I walked out, there was a group of 5 men, which are like random fights, like RPG random fights. And they walked over to me, and they were just lubed up men wearing pool blow up things so you don't sink. That was the
Stop selling me the game. I'm already gonna get it.
I know. We're
I
already
was
gonna
so
play it,
confused.
JP. You don't need to just layer it on like this.
This
come on, man.
This man was taking a shower, and his grandma fell or had some sort of sickness happen, and so he jumped out of the shower and ran outside, and then his door was locked, and so then I had to escort him to the clothes shop by making sure that he didn't run into the people who were just spraying water in the streets, so that he didn't lose his bubbles and get arrested for it.
People spray water in the streets a lot in Japan. It's very clean. It is very clean.
That's a thing. Okay. All right.
The streets are super clean.
Yeah.
In
Sorry.
Tokyo, at least.
He was in Soapland. Sorry. I was a little bit shocked.
Oh, he was in a snowland? Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused.
By the way,
when I was watching.
Weird end game for Genshin Impact.
Oh yeah, that's right. It gets weird, man. This is why people spend money. They want to go back to the anime version. It's the real version.
I was like on the mailing list for this, and I went back and forth, and the guy was like, "Hey, you want to play this for an hour on ahead of time and stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah." He sent me all this stuff. He's like, "Okay, here you go," and I was like, "It doesn't work. I already bought the game, so I can't do like there's no beta tab and shit like that, so I couldn't do it. I have to wait until it releases now."
The only reason that I took it is because I wanted to play on the Series X. So this is like the new Xbox console version, not the PC version. I didn't realize there was a PC version of it as well. That was like had the hour limit to it, but yeah, I don't know. It definitely. I think I told you.
I didn't do it because I know I wouldn't be able to stop.
Yeah, it was really weird. I
don't want to get thrown off Twitch.
I was scrambling. I went 5 seconds over. I was scrambling to try to find the karaoke bar, and I never could. I didn't know where it was. I found everything else except the karaoke bar. But yeah, I think I told you guys when I played Yakuza 0, the first like maybe 2 hours of it are pretty story and pretty like serious. And so I don't think I hit the weirdness aspect of that game. Whereas in this one, you start in chapter 5. And I think that's like when maybe the game opens up or something. I'm not necessarily sure, but it was only weird shit. There was no serious. I think it starts out with like 18 minutes of cutscenes, which I just skipped because I didn't want to, know the story and know what happens, but it was just only weird shit. And I think that might have sold me on the game more than the first 2 hours of actual Yakuza 0 did. So
I'm gonna be honest. I dropped in for just a minute or two and then left before spoilers, and I don't remember. Did you play in English?
In this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing the English aspect of it.
How was it?
It was fine. Like the dialogue seemed fine. Everything was well, not everything. Most things were voiced. The opening of that side quest with the Bubble Man was voiced, but the end of it, where you actually take him to the clothing store, was not voiced. So I don't know if that's going to be the standard or what, but yeah, it seemed fine. I don't know. It definitely had, while walking around in the city, I don't know what city this is. There are random things, and you guys can tell me if this is in other Yakuza games or if this is just this. There are random prompts to like have a conversation with your party, and in doing so, it's just like idle conversation, kind of like in Persona 5, if you were in Memetos.
That's new.
Kind of like those conversations. Okay, that's new. Gotcha.
That's definitely new.
Yeah, Yakuza didn't have a party system.
Oh, we didn't have a party
Where
system, right?
you would sometimes have people following you around, but it never to the like that. It was just story related, like if you were dragging someone between two places or something like that. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that's cool.
If you were like
Really
a dragon, people from place to place, I'll leave. I'll show myself out.
Wow.
It's worth it for your faces. Oh God, I love the disappointment. So tasty.
In terms of quality of life stuff, or speaking of the actual game and not the weirdness of it, I got into a lot of fights. I was very strong, so it didn't seem that cumbersome to be in said fights. Also, if you just press L2 or whatever the corresponding key is on whatever platform you're playing, it automatically just does the fights for you in terms of just auto attacks. It doesn't use skills or anything, but you can just like auto resolve fights. And so that was really
so if
cool.
you're just like running around town and like doing side quests and things like that, then the fights are just kind of like
Yeah. So
just autopilot.
For example, right here in the bottom left, it says auto off. Now it's auto on, and now it's just going to start the fight.
That's really cool.
It is truly an RPG in the sense that they have parallels for things. Like there's a salt shake or a pepper shaker, like right there. Oh yeah, he just used it, and that's essentially like a poison or
there's
some shit.
Your giant Hitachi.
Yeah, he's got a giant Hitachi. Yeah. There were a bunch of things like there's dungeons in this game, apparently, which is weird to think about from like a Yakuza universe. To see that, that's like another poison right there that she sprayed out of a top hat.
Oh my God, I love it. I want it so bad.
It's weird. It's real bizarre. I
like that they took Persona UI like lessons. Like, let's make the UI fucking awesome. And like, okay. Looks great.
Yeah. I was
everything I see about this game just makes me want to play it more.
It definitely sold me on it. The unfortunate thing is this game comes out in the middle of every other game coming out, so I don't know how long this game is. It might be something that I devote time to like after the Mad Rush, but then again, all of the games coming out during that 10-day period are all long. So I think it's just going to be the type of thing where I have to choose which game I want to play first and go down that path. I also ran into multiple mahjong areas, which I immediately ran out of because I was on a timer trying to find the karaoke place. But all that stuff is in there. And then from like a technical aspect, I started playing the game in the resolution mode, which I think was running at 1440p 30. And then I put it into like FPS mode, and that was running at 1440p 60, and I did not really notice a graphic fidelity drop or anything like that. So that's for console versions of it. The other thing is this was probably the first game that I had spent more than 30 minutes with on the Series X. It loads fucking fast. It's absurdly fast how fast it loads. And I know I've said that multiple times, and I know everyone's saying that. It was under 3 seconds to go from menu to game. To go from like start screen, like right. This is loading Virtual Fighter 5, which is in the game as well. Because why not? That's all in there. Is the Sega Arcade.
Oh yeah, Sega Arcade.
Yeah. It loaded so fast. So we'll see. I can't wait for those consoles to come out. Just so everyone else can experience like how fast they are, and for honestly the game industry to like make that jump to where everyone loads that fast, not just PC games. It's going to be a huge deal. I can't wait for that. It'll be such a game changer for sure. That was the end of it because I could only stream for an hour. So it definitely sold me on it. It was Yakuza and the weird aspects of it. I did not watch any of the serious stuff. No idea what's actually going on in the proper story. I just know that I had 4 people and we ran around whatever that area was. So, what time is it? We got about 10 minutes. Anyone got a 10-minute game to talk about?
Remothered.
Oh, you played that? Hold on, I'm sure I played that.
I think you have played that.
Remothered Tormented Fathers
Okay.
is the old one. And then day before, Remothered Broken Porcelain came out.
Okay.
And I did that in a sitting.
Scary? How would you describe this game?
It's on my wish list. I don't know
Remothered
why I
Broken
didn't-
Porcelain. A better title would probably be Remothered Broken.
Really? Is buggy?
Oh God, dude. Multiple times I would just not be able to continue. Like the game would auto save after game breaking bugs. The movement was janky. The main game was janky. The voice acting at times, although some characters were great. Jennifer in particular was really good, and there were some others that were good as well. Was janky. The cutscenes that they were trying so hard to elicit like powerful emotions from you were not paced well and janky. There was one scene that was supposed to be really impactful, and I think at like there's scenes that I've seen people on Twitter say that they made them cry. I cried once during this game, and it was with laughter during one of the cutscenes because of how ridiculous it was. Here's the
Wait.
thing.
Wait, what about it? Hold on. What about it makes them cry?
Here's and this is actually the part I'm going to get to.
Okay.
Remothered Tormented Fathers and Remothered Broken Porcelain is actually a pretty cool idea for a story. There's crazy twists and turns. There's some really weird things that happen. And especially towards the end of Broken Porcelain, there are moments that, if done properly, could be like nearly beautiful moments. There are glimpses of something in here that's actually really special and cool. The
What?
problem
Why
is
did
there
you-
is so much other stuff and problems that it's basically like trying to look in an art gallery with glasses that are just like foggy and clouded. Like it doesn't matter how good it is. There's so many issues that it like completely obscures the vision that you can tell the people had for this game. Like, you know, there's times when there's like a really sweet scene between two characters, but like something bugs or the animations don't line up properly or the voice acting isn't right or the mouse don't sync properly. And, you know, like it's just, it's basically like Tommy Wiseau the game, in a lot of
Okay.
ways.
All
And
right.
it's so
Go
unfortunate
on.
because like what it got to the point where I was just like, I'm just gonna finish just to see how bad it is. Like chat was loving how, like some of the terrible stuff, and it really there are a lot of fundamental problems with this game. Technical pacing, like at one point it's like, and I think some of the people that watched the playthrough will remember this. At one point they showed this scene in an order, which I'm pretty sure they were doing intentionally to confuse the viewer. So basically, like what happened is, and this is slightly spoiler, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like they showed this scene where this character was wearing this specific outfit, and then for no real reason, then like one of the next scenes showed her in that outfit doing this specific thing. And only if you'd been like following the story would you realize that that scene actually took place years and years ago. But there was no real reason that it was put where it was. But like if you were not really following it along, it would have so confused you. And chat was super confused by it. And I had to like spell it out what was going on. And I remember after being like, why would they have put that there? Like there's no reason that that particular insight into that character should have been put there. And the time at which they did it just made it even more confusing. So it was so strange, man. Like, but again, there were parts of it that were really cool, and there were reveals that were really weird. Like, there's some really weird shit that goes on in this game. But yeah, what I'm kind of hoping is that down the road, like this franchise gets given to like a company that can make like a real cogent experience. And they both Remothered, the first and the second, only like 5 or 6 hour games. So it'd be totally in the realm of possibility of them like remaking this 2-game franchise as one game and actually do it well. Like the story could be pretty cool if done properly. But oh man, it is a mess. There is a skill system in this game you can only access through an item that happens 3 hours into the game. And they don't even explain it. Like there's just this box and you use it and all of a sudden it's like there's a skill system. And then it's like you can put stuff into it, but it's like none of it really matters. and it's so random. It's like, oh my lord, dude. Yeah, it's just such a weird, just smorgasbord of problems and technical issues and errors and pacing and wow.
Um,
At one point, you kill a guy with a nail gun, and then earlier in the game, it does nothing to him. There's no reason that explains why that. A dude has a lisp that comes and goes. So sometimes he'll be like, yes, that's exactly why I do it. That's exactly why. And then he'll talk over loudspeaker and be like, yes, that's exactly what I meant. And I don't understand. And it's the same dude. And like literally at one point, it just goes back and forth between having a lisp and not having a lisp. Like it's just like,
Man, I didn't realize that Co hates people with
So-
lisps so much. Like it's kind of fucked up.
I have a lisp. Shut
that's
up.
the takeaway.
It was crazy. That's the takeaway.
Fucking love
Okay.
it. That's great.
I mean, he might
Okay.
really love those
Oh!
those anti-microtransactions games, but Lisp, whoo, hates them.
Oh, and the
You
tutorial
realize,
on
Co-
crafting popped up every 5 minutes until the end of the goddamn game. I'm literally in the last area of the game and I pick up an item and it's like, did you know that you can combine items in the inventory to make new items?
Nice. So it's a Japanese
Oh.
developer.
You realize what you have done. You have backed me into a fucking corner
What is the wheelchair?
where I can't not
Oh, is it?
play
That's
this
it.
game.
That's it. This is the scene. I couldn't control myself, dude. I was like, are you?
Look at the wheelchair seat.
I literally started crying.
Holy shit. Why does it?
I'm sitting here going like, ramming speed.
Holy shit.
And she spins for no reason. She has nothing on the ground that can make her spin. Why did she do that?
That's
How
so
did this happen? Like,
oh,
oh,
Zeke, you gotta play this game. I think this game's made
I,
for you.
I just was saying that. Like, I got backed into a fucking corner. I can't not play
Oh,
this now.
my God,
It's
that's
so
great.
bad I have to, and I don't want to pay money for this.
How much is this?
$26.99 on sale
Holy
from
shit,
30.
that's a lot.
For how many hours?
took me 5.5 hours, I think. 5.5 hours.
Jesus.
That's pricey. That's a pricey one right there.
Well, here's the thing. I was wondering what to play on Thursday, tomorrow, because Leisure Suit Larry got delayed.
Oof.
That's sad. I was really
Sucks.
excited to get
I
into
saw,
that.
I saw
but
all of Twitter really upset about that one. It was a big deal.
you're lying, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
absolutely
No,
lying.
I saw PC Gamer. PC Gamer actually tweeted something about it, and the first comment was like, "Is there still a fan base for this game?" And I was like,
Yeah. It.
Oh,
We have like a game list thing of games coming out, and that popped up there. I was like, what the fuck? They're still. I guess Zeke put him back in business with how many times he streamed.
dude.
"Well, they
I
had
didn't-
they had one 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and then this is just a sequel to it. And I'm guessing they're not super expensive to make because they're not graphically like
Intensive.
outstanding or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't mention one of the best parts, by the way. This game was supposed to come out on October 20th. They bumped it up a week. So with all of the issues this game has, a demo they released weeks ago that apparently had all the same horrible issues. They were like, you know what? Like it's trash. We know it's trash. It's not going to get better, and we're just putting it out. Like screw it. Like and then what's even better is they release a day one patch that apparently fixed a bunch of stuff, and it's like, why didn't you just wait? Like why?
Yeah. So I mean,
Uh,
game dev is hard, man.
So
That's my
just
answer
real
to
quick
that.
before we go to break,
Yeah.
another thing that Genshin Impact does,
Uh huh.
you get this. You spend $500 on Genshin Impact, you can buy this shitty game, can't you? Like,
Yeah, I get that a lot.
fuck you. Yes, sure.
Yeah, I get that a lot because of PoE. Yeah, for sure. Anyways, Remothered, Broken Porcelain. Co says don't buy it unless you're Zeke, and then buy it.
And also, no one did we bury the lead on this? Like, no one mentioned Broken Porcelain is the name of the game.
Well,
Like you,
no, Cole
like
made
you
a joke
sat
about
down
it
on
in the
the-
start. That's how you
Did
introduced
you?
the game.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I must
yeah.
have missed it
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
first thing I would have said. Like, Broken Porcelain. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Crack. How about
Yeah.
crack? No, crack porcelain. How about leave porcelain out of it? Because porcelain is normally synonymous with a toilet.
People kept coming in and being like, "Hey, Co, what do you think about the game?" And I would go,
It's accurate. It's one of those, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. That's how it goes.
Well, and also, like, okay, I want to point this out because you didn't point it out. Just real quick.
Okay.
In the title of your stream, you said, "Thanks for the copy of the game." Co got this for free, and he's still cracking the porcelain on it. Like, he's still shitting all over it.
It's hard. Yeah.
I
Dude, I
want
don't care
people to
if
know that. I want people to know that. Like, we're not bought
I don't
and paid
care if I'm
for.
sponsored to play something. If I don't,
Yeah.
if I will always be honest with exactly what I think about
Yeah.
it. And I'm sorry to the devs. Like, I hope in my small gamer heart of hearts that the least they can do is appreciate the honesty.
They can't be mad. They got a sale out of it. Zeke bought it. That's a win.
There you go.
They didn't spend any money
And
and
like
they got a
and dude,
sale.
Like I said, man, and I said this during the game too. Like, there are hints where it's like, this could have been awesome. Like, there's stuff in it that is at times even almost good. Some of the twists and turns are crazy dark, crazy shit. Like, it's just crazy. But again, like, as they watched in the playthrough, like, numerous game breaking bugs, tons of little issues. Think nothing. Like, the game is so easy to break. It's so clear that they expect the player to go through it in a way. And if you even deviate from that slightly, you risk breaking the entire veneer. Like, everything shatters. At one point, I didn't sprint to a closet. I snuck. Like, you would think, because this guy's busting into the room. So because I didn't sprint to it,
Yeah.
I didn't have enough time. I aggroed it, and there's no way to get away from her at that point. There's nothing you can do. The game has to progress by you getting in there before the person sees you. So if they see you, you lose, but the game never actually fails. It just chases you forever. It's just like,
Yeah.
how there was like zero QA done on the game. None. The fail state is non-existent. So it's crazy, man.
It
It really is
What I
crazy.
What I was laughing at says someone said Zeke bought it, so they recouped their development costs. Like, oh,
Wow. Wow. Man.
It's a joke. I get it, but that's a fucking burn, dude.
Yeah.
This might be a bigger discussion, but as someone who doesn't play horror games, but listens to both of you, I think, play a lot of horror games year round. Why are all horror games badly developed? Besides like 2 or 3. What is that just me being misrepresentative of horror games, or is that true?
I think there's a large majority. It's not the most popular genre. It's not the one that a lot of people like, I'm going to make money doing this. So the companies that tend to do it are more kind of passion project, and that doesn't necessarily attract the most resources. But you do have games like Amnesia, like Soma. Granted, those are kind of the same company.
Yeah.
And you have like one-offs that are good. Made of Scare was pretty cool. I played Made of Scare. I mean, it wasn't that very long, but it was fun. It was a fun ride. You know, they're there. They're there. It's just not like. Go ahead, Zeke. You know more than I do.
My
You play
thinking,
more.
my thinking is it's because it's the same reason why there's so many indie movie studios that do horror games or horror movies. There's
Oh.
so many B-rate horror flicks because it's an easy way to get people in the door. It's like you got blood, you got gore, you got scares and monsters and shit. All those things, easy way to get people in the door, and all you gotta you gotta throw some like ketchup around, and like get a spooky mask and stuff like that. They're easy to draw people in, me included. Like, if it says horror on it, I'm 50% there with the game already.
Yeah.
And some great other examples that are coming up in chat. Visage, fantastic scary game. That game is horrifying. Song of Horror was fun. Like we just played a game called God's Basement. It's kind of horror, surreal
I
weirdness.
played that
That was
like
a lot
a
of
year ago
fun.
or
Made by
something.
like a dude. Yeah, we could talk about that later.
Yeah.
But Alien Isolation is a horror. That's more of like a AAA horror. But still, I mean, you know, like they're there.
Oh yeah,
Just-
there's always
it's
an
just
exception to the rule.
not
Yeah. I was
It's like dubstep.
generalizing
You just
for
got to
sure.
sort through 90% of the trash to get to the okay stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right though, JP. It's the same thing with like I was saying with horror movies. There's like
That makes sense.
1,000 like B-rate horror to every like, or maybe like 100 B-rate horror to every one like well-produced, decent, like studio one.
Yeah. That makes sense. Big budget one. Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back, jump into some news. We've also got some other stuff that we've been playing, so we'll talk about that, and then we'll call it a show. So more drop frames coming up right after this. We'll see you guys in about 5 or 6 minutes.